a natural resource worth protecting.
The way I always try to describe the river, it's dynamic.
The Niobrara River is a rare find in North America as its winding path expands 3 states, most of it making its home across northern Nebraska before merging with the Missouri River. This river starts small and travels nearly 500 miles of landscape, turning into a massive waterway full of life and beauty.
Niobrara has that uniqueness, and that's what people truly treasure when they come from eastern Nebraska or out of state.
The Nebraska Natural Resources Districts, also known as NRDs, make it their mission to protect the Niobrara River, conserve its precious resources, and at the same time allow for public use.
Locally, that's one of our biggest concerns is 100 years, 200 years from now, we still want to see this as property being used for farming, ranching, fishing, wildlife recreation.
A large part of the Niobrara was deemed a scenic river designation in 1991 by the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service. Since then, the federal government has kept a close eye on the river, even threatening to take control of the water away from the state for uses dictated by the federal government. At the same time, the NRDs were looking into cooperative management opportunities to protect water for all Nebraskans. Nebraska Public Power District, known as NPPD, owned the Spencer Hydro Dam water rights dating back to 1942, limiting the conjunctive management opportunities for the NRDs and the state.
One of the driving forces in flows of the river is the Spencer Dam water right that's held by NPPD, which is a 365-day-a-year water right that essentially controls the flow of the river and doesn't allow for much management up the system within the basin.
The value of a water right in Nebraska is tied to its use category and its priority date. And here, NPPD's water right is currently only utilized for hydropower purposes, and it will require a legislative change in order for the NRDs and their partner entities to use that water right for any other purpose. And the other key aspect of this right is its priority date. The NPPD water rights have some of the oldest priority dates on this portion of the Niobrara Basin, and that means that they take precedence over many other rights, and for that reason, we need both.
5 natural resources districts, Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, NPPD, and the Attorney General's Office came together to find a way to meet all beneficial uses of this iconic river, ultimately creating the Niobrara River Agreement.
We're coming up with our own solutions. We're not looking at a court to settle our problem.
This is a diverse group of interests that came together to find a unique local solution to solve a state problem.
In order to solidify the Niobrara River Agreement, the NRDs and Commission will seek legislative authority to convert NPPD's water rights to an in-stream basin management water right held conjunctively by the Nebraska Game and Parks and the Niobrara Basin NRDs. The new water right would then be used to maintain in-stream flow needs for fish, wildlife, and recreation, and also assist in implementing integrated management plans of ground and surface water.
All existing users will be protected. The legislation itself expressly requires that new subordination agreements be entered into with everyone who presently has one at no additional cost. The preference category remains the same as a hydropower production right, so this new right will be on a par with NPPD's right. And then finally, the integrated management planning process would prohibit any new consumptive uses that would harm existing users. So all existing surface and groundwater users would be protected.
The NRDs and their partner entities wanted to make sure from the outset that no existing uses were harmed. And to that end, they built right into the proposed legislation that for all those folks who have existing subordination agreements, not only are they able to re-enter into those agreements, but they're able to do that at no additional cost.
After the water right transfer is made, the public will be involved with the Natural Resources Districts, Nebraska Game and Parks Commission, and Department of Natural Resources to develop an integrated management plan to ensure sustainable water uses in the basin.
Well, sustainability is really at the heart of this legislation, and what it will allow us to do is to create new uses that could be, for instance, storing water during times of excess to provide water for existing surface water users, but to make sure that the water supply is available for all users, all Nebraskans, into the future.
We can continue to utilize that water locally for future uses that maybe we can't even think of right now. And that's what this agreement puts in place and hopefully allows is that toolbox that provides tools to look at true conjunctive water use and management in the entire basin for all benefits and all users.
To develop the integrated management plan, there will be public meetings, stakeholder groups, and advisory committees set up in the basin to allow the general public to participate and recommend plans for future uses.
This is a local solution to a state problem.
If you would like to learn more about the Niobrara River Agreement, contact Upper Niobrara White Natural Resources District. You can call the district at 308-432-6190 or go to www.unwnrd.org. Nebraska's natural resources districts protect lives, protect property, protect the future.